talk about the holographic nature of relational dynamics. So what we are experiencing in relationship is a literal hologram of what we are experiencing internally, and the literalness of the exact holographic image of inner and outer, it blows my mind. And when I work with people and they draw rooms of where they're stuck in, they draw their male and their female, which is what I'm going to talk about today. The male, the mind, the female, the emotions. When they draw the male and the female, it literally looks exactly like their marriage, exactly like whatever relationship they're in, even a relationship with a boss or sometimes with a parent. So I've been talking about how to name and identify patterns in the outer world. Like, it is useful to understand what a narcissist looks like, right? And I've talked a lot about the wounding of the empath, which is a belief system that includes the beliefs of I am not capable, I can't do life, I'm dysfunctional, I'm bad, everything is my fault. Because the empath is absorbed in unhealthy female energy, meaning they're absorbed in sensation, in an attempt to control their environment, and not just in an attempt to control their environment. Empathy is not only a result, it's not, a lot of people are saying this, it's only the result of an unpredictable parent. No, that's part of it. That's the way you experience your empathy. Empathy is just a gift. It's a gift, which is a reframe that's very important in healing your own mind and your own relational dynamics. Experiencing empathy as hypervigilance is due to trauma. So, but here's how, in the hologram of the narcissist and the empath is believing that it has no worth, that it's incapable because of all the proof that it has, right? My sensitivity is a handicap. I'm dysfunctional, I'm absorbed by the emotional reality, by reactions, by fears, the fear of abandonment, right? These fears and feelings pretty much take over my life, and therefore I find it difficult to move forward or to focus my mind. That's the wounding of the empath, along with feelings of perpetually being unsafe. So, if you had a parent that was unpredictable, you might seek, for example, let's just talk about the heterosexual male-female relationship, because that's all I can speak to from experience. Let's say I'm a woman that attracts a more narcissistic type of man, but who's less emotional, because in my childhood, maybe I had very volatile emotional parents around. So I would be attracted to perhaps people that are more avoidant, people that are disconnected from their emotions, people that, because they're disconnected from their feeling, they prefer maybe isolation, maybe they outright prefer isolation, or they push you away in different ways, like keeping you at arm's length, being in disdain, holding you in contempt, thinking they're better than you, judging you, right? There is some distance between you because the person who prefers distance and isolation is really terrified of their emotional body. And therefore, so in the same way that maybe an empath is afraid of the emotional experience they experienced as a child, they will attract more avoidant types of people sometimes because it will feel more calm and safe than the volatility. But actually, somebody who's avoidant still has a ton of bottled up, corked up volatility that they are not yet in access of. So they will play out that rage in subtle ways unless something big happens in your relationship, and then the rage will start to come out in more obvious ways. But I want to talk about what's going on internally. What's going on internally? If in the outside you're attracting someone who neglects you and avoids you, well, let's just call the male the mind, the mental body. If there's people around you that neglect you and avoid you, then your mind you are avoiding and neglecting yourself. You're avoiding something. Are you avoiding a truth? If you're in a relationship where you're being neglected and avoided, and you know this, you're actually neglecting and avoiding to acknowledge this fact, and therefore you're staying in it for way longer than is healthy for you. So if you're in a relationship where you're being neglected and avoided and people are pushing you away, the avoidance that you are doing to yourself is that you're not acknowledging it. Empathic people are so psychically aware of patterning. But then the thing is, even though you're aware of it, why are you still choosing it? Okay, so you're aware that you're being neglected chronically, and that no matter how you try to discuss it, no matter what you try to do, nothing changes because you can't change a person. They have to decide to get out of those patterns. Knowing that, we know that, but yet why do you stay? Well, there's the core belief system that drives the whole thing, which is I don't deserve better. I deserve this. I deserve to be neglected because I'm bad. Because I'm just a dysfunctional, messed up person that mostly just feels everything and gets overpowered by my own body, by my environment, and by life. So it's just, again, it's your relationship is a hologram of what you do to yourself. So it would be so powerful to look at, like, any relationship that you're in, a pattern that you're acknowledging, to take it in and say, how am I doing this to myself? An empath that attracts a lot of narcissistic abuse is abusing themselves, as I've said so many times. But what does that actually look like? The empath, the internal narcissist inside of you, the empath, I'm talking to empaths. If you're an empath, you have an internalized narcissist. Otherwise, it wouldn't be showing up in your external world. The internalized narcissist is the part of you, it's your mental body usually, that is beating up on your emotional body. You stupid bitch, you're so sensitive, you do nothing but get me in trouble, you do nothing but make me weak, you do nothing but slow me down, you've gotten me nothing but pain and suffering, right? That's what's going on inside of you. You're just a mess, you're just sloppy. So the internal abuser is your own mind. The male beating up on the female in the male-female dynamic. And of course, this doesn't mean it's always a man beating up on a woman. That's not what I'm saying. But the male energy, the mental body, the third chakra, in myself and in many other people, tends to take this kind of patroller, policing, abusive, harsh stance against the feeling, because if you perceive the feeling as a threat, then the reaction to that is going to be to create an internal narcissist that tries to keep that thing under control. So then on the outside, we attract people that try to control us. And the problem is, like, yeah, there's certain things you can do, like no longer choosing someone, walking away from something toxic. Yes, that does heal the internal dynamics. It does, making choices. But really the cause, and what's most important, is that you progress this internalized narcissist into the present moment where you can come to an internal understanding, like, I don't have to be aggressive towards my feeling nature. It's not a handicap. So at the basis of this internal beating is an idea, usually, that the feeling is my handicap. My sensitivity is my handicap. Well, in my childhood, maybe it was, because I had nowhere to go. I had to withstand, like, unpredictable, maybe loud, intense environments. And maybe a part of me reacted to that and said, well, this is never happening again. So we become hard. And maybe on the outside, the empath doesn't become hard, because the empath is embodying more of the unconscious feminine energy, whereas the narcissist is embodying more the unconscious hardened male energy. But the empath has an internalized narcissist. It has internalized unconscious male. When one of the genders is unconscious, both are unconscious. So if you are in unconscious female energy, absorbing sensation, loss in sensation, You can bet your little bottom that there is an unhealthy male. So how do you start to heal this dynamic? First of all, because there's this core belief that the sensitivity is a problem, is a threat, is a handicap, is a problem, is my whole problem. I mean, it can be so extreme that, like it was for me, like I believe that my sensitivity, and I'm highly sensitive, that my sensitivity, that my feminine energy is literally the bane of my existence, the cause of all my problems. So therefore there's an internal war where I'm trying to kill another part of myself. And that used to look like me exercising too much, ignoring my body. It used to look like me beating up on myself and feeling ashamed when I made mistakes, like when I was trying to heal from an eating disorder. If I would slip back into the behavior, I would beat up on myself almost in an ascetic way. Shame, shame, shame. I should be better than this. I've had incredible mystical experiences. I know the true nature of reality. I know everything is love. Why am I still showing up in this unconscious way? Why am I hurting myself? And then of course I hurt myself more by beating up about it. So how do you heal this? You have to reframe this idea that sensitivity is a problem, that sensitivity is the bane of your existence, that it's this bitch that you need to control, that's like the cause of all your problems. That's gonna create and externalize a holographic screen of abuse in the outer world. So you have to, in your mind, right, when we join the male and the female, we say, we surrender. I am a sensitive. I am an empathic. I am a feeling being. What a pleasure that is. Let me tell you something. Again, I've said so many times, like, I completely disagree with this idea that empathy is only a result of trauma. It's just a gift. We're moving to a world where everything's going to be more and more pure energy. My life is more energetic than it is like matter. When I am out of alignment with myself, with the truth, I get a symptom in the body. I get a symptom in the bank account. I get a symptom and then when I correct it, it changes like so fast because I'm such an energetic person, and I thank God for that, because it's my greatest teacher, because I can't spend too much time beating myself up, being unkind to another person, being dishonest. I can't really spend too much time there before it really starts to hurt. So I'm so grateful for that. But where I was going with that is that my sensitivity makes me so empathic to the bliss of form. I'm so, and I touch a crystal and I can feel the bliss just running through my meridians. And by the way, if you experience your empathy only in an unhealthy way and you're unable to feel it in a blissful way, don't worry, you will. You just have to start reframing. You have to progress your male into the present moment where it's not beating up on the female for her sensitivity. You have to decide, like an iron will, this is healthy male, healthy directive. Healthy directive. I will no longer treat myself and my sensitivity like a handicap, like a problem. I'll take care of myself if I'm overwhelmed. If I feel overwhelmed, I'll take care of myself. I'll move into a space that feels better for me. I'll do more habits that are kind to my body. How would my body like to feel? The body's been through so much. How would the body like to feel? It would like more relaxation. It would like more kindness. It would like more soothing. It would like more nutritious food. It would like more love. It would like more appreciation. It does so much for you. You know, that's part of the unhealthy, the internalized narcissist beats up on the female also being the physical body, the manifested. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The body is a hologram of the mind. Thank you for the message. Thank you for the message. I know my whole purpose for being is to correct and to heal and to love all the parts of me that don't know that they are God. Thank you for the feedback. Not, I hate you for failing me. I hate you for failing me. Thank you for the feedback. How would you like to feel? How would you like to feel? So, to heal the internalized narcissist who beats up on the female who inside doesn't feel that she deserves anything. We have to send love to the male. We have to appreciate our own mind, right? The male needs respect, trust, appreciation. So in a relational dynamic, if you're sensing something that's off, trust it. That's healthy male. Trust. Don't deny it. Don't hide it. Don't question yourself. Trust it. What you're feeling is real. Now that I've acknowledged and trusted something, the thing that would be most healthy for me to do right now will be more obvious than if I try to question myself, blame myself, go into unconscious female energy where I'm always the problem. No. Healthy male, I acknowledge the dynamic. I acknowledge someone is behaving in a way that feels not so good to me. I acknowledge it. Trust it. Okay, from there, right action is more likely to take place. The reframe internally of the sensitivity, the goal is that the male should be in awe of the female. What does that look like? Choose to be in awe of your sensitivity, of your emotional reality. The intensity of your emotions are such a blessing, because the way that we discard reactive behavior, the way that the soul expels the virus of victim consciousness, is that things are amplified until we see the damage that they are doing, so that we can actually decide to do things differently, with more kindness, with more centeredness, with more self-respect, with more respect of others. I remember when I was a teenager, 14, 15 years old, I had really strong emotions. When I felt abandoned, when I felt rejected, when I felt gaslighted, I was so emotional. I had such strong reactions, like completely uncensored. And I remember my mom said, Alex, like, you should go to a doctor and take medication. And there's nothing wrong with medication. I don't think there's anything wrong with anything. But even at that age, I remember having the insight to say, Mom, no thank you. Like, I'm never gonna figure out how to be free and happy if I cover this up with a pill. And I'm so grateful for the wisdom that I had in my life, even though my life has been intense and very painful at times. The pain that I've gone through has given me a lot of wisdom, and I don't want to keep learning only from painful experiences. I'm leaving that behind. And of course, you can't leave pain behind, but I'm leaving behind using as a curriculum pain and suffering, because now I choose wisdom. Now I choose self-love. Now I choose to trust what I feel, to be kind to my body, and therefore the genders are balancing within me, and the contrast in my life will be more subtle. But I was so grateful for making that choice, because if you're hiding something from yourself, you're so much less likely to get on the other side of it, living from a place of true wisdom. And I remember my teachers telling me, Alex, you're going to be one of the most psychologically put together people, because you were so freaking broken in a way, because you were so disassociated, because you were so fragmented, because your emotions were so volatile and strong, because all these things were so intense for you, because you're aware of the non-physical reality. But because I chose love, I chose to put myself back together. And that's the wisdom I share with you. I'm basically sharing the insights that I have realized of how to put yourself back together if you have had lifetimes perhaps of destroying yourself. So the healthy male, developing the healthy male, is trusting your own mind, respecting your own mind. Thank you for everything that you do for me, right? Like when your mind starts to race, well, when your mind is racing, you're avoiding a feeling, right? People try to quiet the mind. Don't try to quiet the mind. Just ask, what am I avoiding? Right? That's the male working with the female. The male is reacting to the female. The female might be feeling something intense, and the male is going into, instability, not knowing how to work with that female. So we have to learn how to work with the female and go below the neck and say, what's going on? What's going on? Tell me, talk to me. What do I need to feel? So healing the male-female is being willing to feel, respecting the mind. You don't need to control it. You don't need to punish it for racing or for Thank you. Thank you for the message. Just like the body's the message, the holographic message. The mind is the holographic message. The emotions is the holographic message. Tell me. Tell me something I'm missing. Tell me what I need to do. Give me the insight of how to work with you right now. But really, what I wanted to say about the internalized narcissist is that if you are attracting people that put you down, it's because you're putting yourself down. But it's not just like the internal critic of like putting myself down, calling yourself names. It's putting your female self down, treating the female energy as a problem. So ask the universe, ask the soul, the higher self, teach me to work with the female in a way where I can embrace her totally. I can embrace her totally. That means feeling everything fully. That means totally accepting the moment as it is. If right now I'm confused, I'm in despair, if I'm going through something, if I'm experiencing loss, just completely accepting it. It is what it is. Sometimes you don't have the answers. In fact, most of the times, almost all the time, we don't, because part of the experience of life is just moving through the experiences of confusion and darkness, right? With moving through those states of energy to realize that on the other side, like, is always, the sun always comes out. It's always darkest before dawn. To start to embrace these cycles. So to sincerely ask yourself, how can I heal my internalized narcissist? How am I subordinating my emotional body? How am I putting down my female? How do I make her feel afraid of me? Well, if you're never willing to feel anything, if you're an avoidant type, let's say, you are abusive, you will abuse the female in your external life because you're abusing the female in your internal life. The empath tends to abuse the female by blaming it for all its problems. I hate you. You've done nothing but ruin my life, right? And so that dialogue creates really low vibration, and it attracts people that talk to you that way. People like narcissists that more so avoid their feelings, they abuse the female by making her afraid of him because he doesn't give her the time of day. He doesn't give her the time of day. So she's never going to come up in a vulnerable way to join with the male unless the mind decides, like, okay, female, okay, my love, this is the internal marriage. Talk to me. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? I accept you. You are not a problem. You don't slow me down. Emotional energy moves mountains. When we visualize with feeling, we create universes. When the male and the female work together, we create worlds that we want to live in. When they're not working together, we create worlds that are just a holographic representation of the war within. So this is a little bit of a deeper dive into what's going on internally when we are attracting abuse. I hope this is eye-opening. I hope if you have questions on how further to work with this, you can email me. I do work with people one-on-one, or you can submit topics for videos. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful day.